the cost of making minimum payments. In our previous video, we chatted about credit ratings going from 1 to 9 and how 1 is the best you can have. And we talked about how you can get a 1 rating by making minimum payments, higher than minimum payments, or by paying off your entire balance. But do you also remember how we warned you that a 1 rating can be misleading? Remember, you can have great credit with a lot of debt, because when you're only making minimum payments, most of your payment is going towards interest. The cost of minimum payments is what we're going to focus on today. And to demonstrate what we mean, let's look at 3 scenarios together. In the first scenario, we're going to pretend that you went on a trip and you didn't have the cash for it, so you used your credit card. After you got back, you put the pictures up on social media, and shortly after that, your first bill arrives. Since you didn't have the cash to pay off the full $5,000 you spent on your trip, let's do the math if you only make minimum payments on your credit card. Let's say the annual interest rate on your credit card is 18.9%, and the credit card company is asking you to make minimum payments of 3% per month, which starts at about $150. How long do you think it would take for you to pay off your $5,000 balance? We'll give you 3 choices. A, 3 years, B, 10 years, or C, 20 years. Answer is C, 20 years. Wow, that's a long time. And can you guess what you're going to pay in interest? It's around $5,300. So, if you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, my trip cost me $5,000 and I have to pay an extra $5,300 in interest, that means the total cost of my trip is $10,300. Unfortunately, your scary calculations are right. While that might have been a great vacation, was it worth spending over $10,000 and taking you 20 years just to pay it off? Now that you have some of those scary numbers in mind, let's jump into our second scenario. Let's pretend you took the same trip, costing $5,000, but instead your credit card interest rate is 19.9%. And the credit card company is asking for minimum payments of 2% per month. If you compare this to our first scenario, all we really did was increase the credit card interest rate by 1%. So from 18.9% to 19.9%. And we lowered the minimum payment by 1%. So from 3% to 2%. How long do you think it will take for you to pay off your credit card? A, 25 years, B, 40 years, or C, 65 years? Answer is 65 years. And guess what you'll pay in interest during that time? Over $22,000. Ouch! See how big of a difference the interest and minimum payments can make? Now, let's take a break from the scary numbers and look at the third scenario, which will put things into a better light. If the interest was still 18.9% on your credit card, but instead of minimum payments, you decide to make monthly payments of $325 until the credit card is paid off. How long do you think it will take for you to pay off your credit card? A, 6 months, B, 18 months, or C, 24 months? It's B, 18 months. And the interest that you'll pay will be a little over $770. Wow, what a difference from the first 2 scenarios. Now, even though that sounds great, the best case scenario would be for you to save $5,000 for the trip, so you can pay your credit card off in full when you get back, which means no interest payments at all. If that's the case, your only worry becomes what SPF to use. So that's the basics on the cost of making minimum payments and interest charges. Also, how maintaining a 1 credit rating by only making minimum payments can be misleading. For more information on credit reports, please see our other videos by visiting mymoneycoach.ca. If you find yourself in the minimum payment cycle and you want a way out, please call us at 1-888-527-8999 to book a free and confidential appointment with one of our credit counselors, or visit us at nomoredebts.org. We're here to help.